Welcome to North Knives. I'm gonna show you today this cleaver that I'm working on. So let's have a look at it. Okay, so I got my knife blade pretty much finished. I need to do a final hand sanding, and I've drilled one side of the scales, and I've got the pins in. So this one's gonna have 6 small diameter pins, steel. So I've got to unclamp that and repeat the process for this side basically, and try and ensure it's all book matched nicely when I'm done. So I'll unclamp this one and get this one clamped up. Okay, so this is the one that's drilled, so this is my final chance to check really that I'm happy that this side's going to match. So yeah, sacrificial piece of wood underneath is important because that stops any tear out, or at least minimises it. And that may or may not be important, but if you've got say a really thin scale, it's really important because you're not going to be removing much material. Okay, so just check the clamps. I've got these cant twist clamps, which work well for this. This can be super fiddly. So yeah, you need to line it up perfectly, and then you also need to get the clamp on without moving it. Which already has moved, but I'll jimmy it around a bit. Okay. And yeah, obviously you have to try and get the clamp somewhere it's not going to impede your drilling. Get them nice and tight so it doesn't move around. Just last double check that I'm happy. Yeah, I think I am. Okay, so I can drill this now. I've got the pins again, a little cup so I don't lose them, and I'll just change the angle of the camera so you can see what I'm doing now. Hey, I hope this is working. I'm getting a bit cheesed off this phone. It just keeps deleting or not saving videos that I've done. Anyway, so my apologies because I filmed the whole process of drilling this. It's not saved. But there we are. I've got the 6 pins, and I was just explaining that this pin stock is 3mm. So a great tip from me is to get a 3.1mm bit for your drill press, and you drill the tang of the knife at 3.1, and you drill the scales at 3.1, and then your pin stock will fit nicely in. Yeah, so I'm going to do a test fit now, and hopefully this video actually saves. And another little tip, so when I'm drilling, I'm working on the inside of the scales and I'm lining it up, so I'll draw around it, around the tang of the knife, so I've got a good idea of where I want to go. However, that might not be exactly where the knife ends up, and we're going to cut this out soon, so what I'll do is put the pins through and put the knife on, and then draw around on the outside where the knife actually landed. So I've just done that on this side. If I can get this off 100. But this is the inside, so that was like the guide of where I wanted it. There we go. Well, that's the outside. I'm just drawing around, so that's where it did actually end up. So when I cut these out now, I've got out labelled, so I need to make sure that out is facing up, and I cut that line, not that line. Yeah, so I'll do a test fit now and show you. So that's it. It's looking pretty good, I'm happy. And the blocks of wood are fairly well lined up, which means that my book match is going to be good. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out, and then I'm going to decide about what I'm going to do in this area. I need to cut that out as well, so that'll be the next step. So just to save a little time, I've put the pins through, put a bit of tape on the back to stop them falling out. There's a little crack on this. I don't want them falling out, messing me up. So yeah, I'll cut them both at the same time. So this is what I've decided on. I think if it doesn't work out the way I'm thinking it will, I can always round it off. But I thought I'd try something different. This is a prototype Cleaver, and I always, when I'm doing a prototype, I always try a few new things at once, so that so this thing with the 6 pins, I've not done that before. I thought I'd put a hole in for hanging it up, and yeah, let's see how this works out. Okay, so that's sanded up to 2,500 grit and then buffed with the white buffing compound. And yeah, so that's kind of exactly what I had in my head. I'll just quickly do another test fit so you can see that. I like that. Okay, so I'm just prepping for my glue up now. Blades hand sanded to 400 grit. Scales bin, I've drilled little pockets for the epoxy on the inside, and scuffed it up a bit. I've lost my words. Keyed it up, that's the one. So I've keyed up the tang, I've keyed up the pins. Okay, so I've got some acetone, rubbing alcohol, different stuff, kitchen roll stuff, white glue, I've got my clamps, got my little hammer just in case. I've got my G-Flex epoxy, 2-part epoxy, got some gloves, a stick, got myself a beer. I think I'm ready to do it. Okay, so the first step with the glue up is always cleaning, and more specifically cleaning every surface that's gonna get glued with epoxy. So I'm gonna use the acetone and some kitchen roll. Okay, so all nice and clean on some clean paper towel, and now I've got to mix up the epoxy and give it a good mix for I think a minute and a half. Okay, looks pretty good to me. It kind of changes colour once it's mixed properly. So let's see if I can get a better angle to watch the glue up. Okay, so you're gonna see mostly my belly, but this is the what's the G-Flex epoxy. Once it's mixed, it becomes like a consistent mix of the two colours. When you first start mixing them, it looks a bit of a different colour. Okay, so I have labelled the scales. I normally do it one way around, but let me just have a think. I'm going to do it the opposite way around I usually do. There is logic somewhere. So this is the front side, i.e. this is the side that's going to go with the side with the logo. So I'm going to start here. As I say, I normally do it the other way, but this, I've done the pins quite small, not very long, so they're just about the perfect amount. And this side, this scale is slightly thinner than the other one. So, in the event of any of the pins are slightly too short, I'm going to make sure they're flush on this side, this scale that's thinner, because the other side is going to get ground away anyway, so that's why I'm doing it this way. It's quite a bulky knife, but I feel like I've over-egged it with the epoxy. I don't make way too much. Anyway, so I'm going to load the pins next. Get a bit of epoxy on them. Load them up. dirt on that. Where that came from. Okay, this 5th one. That's the last one here. Double check. So this is the front side, so I'm gonna now epoxy the front side with the tongue of the knife, so the side with the logo. I'm gonna pick up the blade. I'm just gonna wrap it because I've already got glue on the gloves. Probably should have treated myself to some new gloves. Okay. Awesome. Press that down. Check the other side briefly. Okay. Looking good. Yeah, no, I'll go ahead and do the other scale. There we go. And then the final side of the tie. And get all the pins along the way as well. Okay, great. So there we have it. I'm just going to make sure the pins are all flush with this side, and it should all work out. So I'm going to get this clamped up and start cleaning off all the excess glue. This one's the 24-hour epoxy, so you've got a bit of time. I can't remember the work time, but it's not like 5-minute epoxy, you've got a bit of time. So I'll clamp this now and get you a better view of what's going on. Okay, so this is a fairly delicate stage. You see all the glue in that bit. I've cleaned that up a little bit, but it doesn't matter there. But on this edge, you need to get all the glue out, but you also, not to the extent where you're washing glue out of the joint. So good lighting would be good, probably better than what I've got here. But yeah, this part of the handle is obviously finished. It's buffed. It's done. You don't want any glue on there, and you don't want glue on the blade either. Okay, so I'm pretty much done. I always stay and come back every 5 or 10 minutes, just for probably the next 15 minutes or something, and just make sure any glue's not squeezed out, and then it hardens pretty much after 12 hours, but fully cures in 24 hours. So it's 4:30 now, so I probably won't work on this knife tomorrow. I'll probably leave it till the next day. Okay, so it's the next day, and not that you asked, but the reason I was having a beer with my glue up yesterday was because I found a fairly substantial leak in the garage where my workshop is, and yeah, I grabbed my sandpaper when I was hand sanding the blade before glue up, and the whole wall and part of the whole wall has got wet, and it's looking pretty bad, to be honest. So I was in a little bit of a mood. So today I've been up on the roof. I just took some brushes up and cleaned it and inspected the damage, and then I've been up there with silicone sealing what I can. I mean, my roof's pretty old and crap, but then next door I've had the roof redone, and where the join is, they've well and truly put the join on my side, and it was pretty shoddy, to be honest. And I think my roof being older has just taken the brunt of it. So yeah, I might go back up. I'll show you now what it looks like inside. But this is just going to be a temporary fix, which is, you know, I'm going to have to spend a bit of money and probably do a new roof, I guess, this summer when it's dry, which I wasn't expecting to have to do. So you can see up there, it's pretty bad. It's actually started to go mouldy. There was stuff in the way, so I had actually noticed it, but I hadn't appreciated how bad it was. And then just my sandpaper is mostly there. Luckily most of it's fine, but a bit of it got wet, and I had a load of tape up there as well that got wet. So it goes for a little bit there, and there's a little bit at the other end at the top. Yeah, so that's what I'm dealing with. I've been up there already on the roof for a couple of hours. I've used one light tube of silicone. I've just found another one, so I'm not sure whether to go up and just double check, get everything. The weather's still nice, but also Bailey really wants to go and walk. So anyway, let's unclamp this knife. It's been over 12 hours, so I'll show you that. Hey buddy, where is it? Where is it? Drop it. Bailey, drop. Bailey. Bailey. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Bailey. Leave it. Hey. Good boy. Okay, let's do this. Cool. So yeah, that's how she looks. I really like the way this knife is shaping up. This is like a new design for a cleaver. I've made about 5 cleavers. They've all been slightly different, but this one is kind of completely different direction, and yeah, I think this might become my favourite, might become my actual cleaver design that I do. Yeah, so thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Hit the like and subscribe if you want to see more content, and if you want to buy a knife from me and get your own custom made knife, you can contact me at northknives@protonmail.com, and I'll put the email in the description for you. Yeah, I hope you have a great day. I'm going to get out and walk Bailey, so yeah, bye bye. Okay buddy, let's do it.